Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on the SortTables data tool, and the last thing we're working on is we've got join and now, whoops. We're here working on the SortTables data tool, and the last thing we're working on is we've got join and now, whoops. Sorry about that. The last thing we worked on is the join analysis tool that checks to make sure that you haven't done cross products accidentally. And we didn't make that support renames yet. So we're in the process of making that deal with the fact that you could now have the same table named twice because we're doing add table or duplicate table. All right, we left off with a failing test. Let's see if we can run those. Yep, sorry about the echo. Let's see, tests. I should crash if I remember. Yeah. Okay, so what we're seeing is we got an unknown table basically. And I'm pretty sure the reason for that, I didn't like sit down and do stuff, but it crossed my eye. Okay, where's the test? Yeah, so down, yeah, here it is. This references table 4, but it doesn't reference, it just created a random table reference that's not in our table selection. So let's do like we did here and get the proper reference. And I think what we'll find is this test will pass. Well, let's just run this one test. But I believe this one, whoops. Oh, I didn't change that to a 3 either. Ugh. All right. I believe this one test will now pass. I hope so. And I suspect the others are too. The reference ID used before didn't really matter because they weren't looking anything up, but now we're dealing with renames and we have to take that into account. And I feel like there were probably more tests that had renames involved or unknown tables. Yeah, let's see what this test is. Unjoined tables. Yep, there's another table reference. This is yet another and more. Okay, well, we'll have to add these as well then. Yet another with more columns and more. Okay, so we joined yet another to more. This has column. This has another. I don't think it really matters that what the names are, but this needs to change. So yet another is now table 2. And more is table 4. Okay, let's try this one. Thank you. Can I find table? Okay. I don't know how many more tests we have with renames in them. None. Okay. All right. So let's see. Test plan, database selection. So here we're using the table reference map. We added a feature that, well, we added 2 things. One is to append tables. We both append them to the list and put them in the reference map. And then the rename table reference uses the reference map to get to the table name. So we're asking the database selection for the information. The bridge, we made it use the new approach, saved a few lines with that. All right, I guess I could. And then scoped column, we made it reference. Oh no, we had an equality change. You really want to look at the table selection ID, not the table. Oh, that was just a rename. Okay. And then table join analysis. We turn them from variables into computed values. So now you go to the database selection to get the information, and we pass that in instead. Yeah, we require that. Okay, scoped column, table join analysis. Okay, that was that. And then the references here, we get the table ID rather than the table name. Okay. All right. So make join analysis, check the renamed tables. Or maybe check tables by their renamed name. Hey, Tux96, welcome. Yeah, I saw a couple programming language things yesterday. They had the Tiobe list, and then I forget the other one. But just kind of like popularity of languages. They had Swift. One of them had Swift down below 1%. One was about 3%. And Python was way on top. Java's been moving down for years. It's still like up in the top 5 or 10, of course. But it's interesting to see the evolution there. I don't know where I saw that. But it's kind of weird because you don't know what, like this shows you what's popular now, but like what you care about is, 5 years or 10 years from now, maybe. Although a friend of a friend back in the day was, he was an expert assembly programmer, and in a microprocessor that was like used in military stuff that was way old. I don't remember which one it was. And, basically he was one of the last 5 guys working in that field. So he got lots of business, even though the thing had probably been, hadn't been put in new systems for years, but he's able to keep a job maintaining them for a long time. So it's kind of like there's kind of a hump or a, it's very popular and you're doing it, and then it sinks down to unpopular. And then when the language is unpopular, but you're one of the few ones left in it, maybe that's a good place to be. I don't know. Makes it hard to go to the next one. Yeah, it's popular in schools, but I was surprised how low JavaScript was too. Where is this thing? Let me dig around. Do I have a window? Let me get one. Tiobe language index. Did I get a minus saying don't use it? Now, someone claimed this was a lagging indicator, that it's reflecting stuff people were doing. But yeah, Python's like, number 1, and this one, Java's number 4. C# increased a little. I don't know. It's it's hard to be in touch with everything, but this is so. I mean, in the top 10, you're looking at a language that's 1.4% of stuff. So it's really kind of. I don't know, 14, 25, 35. The top three only one third, you know, 40, 45, 50%. And by the time you get to the 50%, everything else is ones and twos. Oh, here you go. So Java was way ahead in 2002, but as other things have come up, it's been going down, down, down. What's this one? C. And C looks like it's tracking Java like really hard. And then, and so on. But is this Python? No. Where's Python? Light blue. Okay. So yeah, just in the last year or two. It's students, but it's also the data scientists, right? That the people doing the research and all really seem to love Python. I have a couple friends who really like it a lot too, and nothing wrong with it per se. But man, it's been around. Who'd have guessed in 2002 when it was sitting there at 1.1 whatever percent that it was going to take over Java? 20 years later, who knew? Java's the list looks off. I don't know how to interpret it. I mean, it just seems, well, it's very flat, and like usually I would think this would be like, 40%, and this one's 30, and this one's 15, and then everything else starts falling off. But, there's a lot of stuff that has a few users, and I don't know the press of things. I mean, like, I don't see anybody using Delphi at this point other than legacy stuff. Kotlin, I seem to know a lot of places that have been using that. I don't know why it's not, I would have guessed it would be in the top 10. Ruby, same thing, maybe. COBOL, I don't know. It's been declining for a long time, but I don't know if the people on COBOL are the ones that answered the surveys, because there's gazillions of line of COBOL. What was the other one I saw? Was it a Microsoft thing? I don't know if it was on Microsoft or where that was. This is a different thing, right? This is like, what's your favorite? Well, Python's very, the people who love Python really love it, so yeah, that's a big favorite. Objective-C, 26%. I don't know. It's hard to get a feel for it, but I think you're right. If Java's not going away in the next 20 years, and even if it does to some extent, I mean, it's just not going to. It's hard for things to go away completely. There'll be a lot of lines of code out there in Java. And even if it does go away, I think the JVM is going to live a lot longer. There's still a lot of places using that. And then, you get things like Kotlin that are conceptually similar, but just the syntax has been all nicely straightened out quite a bit. The Java stuff still shows through on it, but yeah, it's just hard to know. I mean, it's funny to me that C is still just kicking butt out here. I'm surprised. I mean, a big dip there. I wonder why. Looked like everything went down there. Nobody was doing anything that year. Yeah, it's just hard to know. Is Kotlin on this list even? Not even on there. And Scratch, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just that's a real education language thing, But yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, if you went by this, like Swift's down here, 0.89%. Now, I don't know who showed me. I can't remember if I saw it on Mastodon or where I got pointed to on this, but they also said, oh, here's another list that's more leading indicator, because I think it was done on Google searches to see which languages were, it was on Stack Overflow searches maybe, which languages are the most popular to search for. And somebody claimed that was a leading indicator that people are searching for it because they're learning it, and they would know it later. But yeah, some of this, I don't know. Yeah, PHP, you're right. It's still being used all over for WordPress. SQL is a little weird. I don't really think of it as I mean, it is a language, but, MATLAB. I don't know. Some of this, it's hard for me to believe Ruby, Kotlin, and Rust are below 1%, but I don't know. It's so hard to get a picture of what the world's like, and it's just the way it is, I guess. It's a tough choice. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. And the other thing is, it's not like you say, I'm coming out of school, I learn a language, and I'm done learning languages, and I'm sticking with this one for the next 40 years. That's not the world, for sure. I think of, again, I go back to the list, other programming languages. What was being used 20 years ago, right? These things down here had no traction. C, C++, and Java. Yeah, that was definitely how I felt it was 20 years ago. But all these languages that have come up since then, well, JavaScript, PHP have been around. Scratch is a little newish, but it's more of a toolkit. Go's pretty new. Object Pascal, that's kind of dead to me. COBOL, I don't know. I feel like it's used more, but more than that. D, F sharp, I mean, they're relatively newish, kind of. R, SAS, your statistical classroom people. Visual Foxtrot, man, that's old. Ada is like, I would have said dead. Classic VB Prolog, that's old. VB Script is kind of old. Perl's, yeah, long in the tooth. Dart and Julia, they're newish. Lua, yeah, new, maybe not quite newish. Logo, Lisp, Pascal. Haskell. Is Pascal on this list? Nicholas Wirth just died. Inventor of Pascal. Object Pascal, yeah. So he's got a little bit of pull there. Yeah, oh well. ASP2, PHP Flash. Yeah, gosh, I remember doing some Flash stuff years ago. There was another one. Oh, can't remember what it was. And I did work like on video early on, and they had this weird little language for video, and it was so restricted. Like your loops could only be 3 deep, and just weird little rules like that. But gosh, I mean, how many have I touched in my professional life? Top 6 for sure. I've done PHP with my WordPress, dabble a little Visual Basic. I use regular old Basic a lot. SQL. I helped my son play with Scratch a little bit, but didn't do anything with it. Go, I worked on a project with it. Fortran, I don't know if I used it directly. I did it in school, and then maybe one project that I wasn't working in the Fortran part, and I worked somewhere else. I worked at Digital back in the day, and the group next to me was the Fortran compiler group. I was in the COBOL compiler group at that time, and I learned enough COBOL to get by. But I've never used it on actual COBOL program, or as a programming COBOL per se, just test cases and stuff. Pascal, Object Pascal, yeah, I use those a bit. There's a lot of Pascal way back. MATLAB, I don't know. I used little mat statistics packages were common. I guess I've done a bit on all of these. I haven't played with Rust. So I mean, that's 20 languages, and 18 or 19 of them I've used at least in some project. You get down here, it's a little less. It's quite a bit less. I never touched data. I used Prolog in grad school. Visual Basic, yeah, touch that. Perl, Objective-C, yeah. Lisp, yeah. Eiffel, read about it a lot. Smalltalk did a little tiny bit with it. Awk, I did a bit. I used a bit. It was kind of a text processing thing. It's kind of handy on Unix, but you have to. Yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, I did not, if I say my dance card 20 years ago, Python was not going to be the winner in 2023. I mean, it's okay. It's got some. It's nice and concise in some things, and they had a bit of the pipeline sort of stuff, and they had this and that that's all right. But yeah, it's okay. Gosh, I mean, if I look at this, like maybe C is the answer. 20 years ago it was a big one, and here we are. I mean, it dropped from 20 to 14. Everything else has been a much wider range. I guess 6%. I don't even believe that. Like where did all the C stuff go for a year and a half there? No. Yeah. What would you bet on? Well, I think you're right that we'll all through all of these, the top five will be here in 20 years. I mean, that's for sure. Too much like Pascal. It's Pascal in lowercase. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always felt like the functional stuff, I keep thinking it's going to break through, and I did a bunch of Lisp way back when, and its closure on this list, we kind of did some stuff. Nothing big time. The next 50, okay. Yeah. That's tough. Oh, this goes back every 5 years. Okay. Yeah, look at C. One or two for 30 years. C++ hanging in at 3, got up to 2 for a little bit there. That was a language I never warmed to. Now, okay, 16 to 99. Yeah, that I believe. And then popped up to number 1 and stayed up there and dropped a little bit lately. C#, I didn't even know it was around in 1999. I used it in something in 2001, and the compiler was still in beta, so it can't have been used too much in that year. Huh. Well, I don't know what my number 1 language would be, but I bet you if you haven't spent any time learning C, maybe that'd be a good one to pick up for number 2. Like. I mean, Java, C, you really have to do the memory management. It's a big part of C programming, and the libraries and stuff aren't there like they are for Java or just about anything else. Maybe they are now. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there. Yeah, I don't think PHP is the language of the future, but it's going to be around for WordPress for a while. Well, like I said, I'm probably going to do an assembly language project in the next while. I don't know, the next project or the project after that. Yeah, it's tough. I don't think you're making a huge mistake with Java if that's something that'll get you a job for now. It'd be better to have a job for 5 years and switch than to, be looking around. I don't have a sense of like the Swift world, how good it is for junior people in Swift, and if the projects are still there are lots of projects that have Objective-C for a fair amount. I mean, even this one we're working on, but I guess I'll get back to it. Yeah, I don't know. Pick one language. So yeah, that's what I think is something else plus C. All right. Failing tests. Let's see. Today's the 10th. 24. I'm still kind of getting that used to that. I don't remember what used new table reference rather than accessing the right one. Oh, and today's join analysis with renames. Okay. Yeah, Java will be around for a long time. Too much parens and functional. Elm was kind of nice for that. It doesn't feel very parenthesis heavy to me, and they have a couple functions like a little mini pipeline one. So instead of doing f of g of h of I of j of k of x, you do like x pipe to k pipe to whatever, kind of pipe them out. and they have something that kind of like reverse arguments and things like that. It's got some nice stuff to it. All right, make join consider renames. Yes, that's what we did. I guess let's run that. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's stuff gets maintained for a long time. I don't know how much new COBOL there is, but I mean, supposedly it's the number one for lines of code. And they a lot of there was a big move. A lot of places shifted to Java for their stuff, and but there's stuff that's still COBOL. Yeah, easily 10 years. I mean, there's still, yeah, it's like, what are people writing new stuff in? I think I think there's a lot of new stuff being written in Java still. The groups I worked with, a couple different ones that worked with Kotlin, really liked it. I thought it was a great, I thought it was Java done right, basically. The only thing I kind of don't like with it is there's still a few things that, because it all compiles down to Java and it uses the Java libraries, there's some stuff I thought was kind of awkward. And, if they didn't have to maintain some level of compatibility with Java, I think they might have been able to do it better. But overall, it's really nice. It's cleaner syntactically, and some stuff just works and all that. I like Swift, but it's kind of a biggish language. I mean, I don't know if it's as big as C++, but it's gotten a bit baroque. I mean, I think things are there for a reason, but I don't know. It'd be nice if they didn't have to be sometimes. All right, let's run this thing. I mean, how long has Swift been around, right? It's been like years at this point. 7 years? I don't know. And yet Objective-C is still being used for a lot, and it's going to be maintained for a while. And, if you get a big app, what's your upside in rewriting 500,000 lines of Java into C#, or whatever you think the hot new thing is. I did run into one company that was doing that. I couldn't believe it. It was like somebody had convinced them they should be a Microsoft shop, probably Microsoft, and not that they should, they didn't, not only should they write it for their new stuff, but even they should take all their old stuff and rewrite it. And they were rewriting a bunch of Java to C#, and it's like, that just seemed like the biggest waste of time to me. I mean, C# is not that different than Java. It's not no advantage to it. Boy, top 3 languages. I'm enjoying Swift a lot. I thought Lisp was really cool from the way, I mean, a lot of parentheses, but just kind of, and small talk, maybe same kind of thing. Start with very small set of primitives and see how far you can go. And it's like, if you look at the syntax for C++ or Swift or lots of languages, the description takes pages and pages and pages to make it clear. And if you take Smalltalk or Smalltalk or Lisp, it's half a page, and the syntax for the language. Everything else is, what are you doing for meaning? And both those I think are very cool. I mean, they're both Lisp and Smalltalk are pretty well out of consideration at this point, but just as language design, very cool. I think the functional world is trying hard. I don't know. I haven't gone through the modern ones enough. Like I have a book on Haskell. A friend gave it to me years ago. And I haven't gone through it yet. I think I got to about page 12, I did some other thing online that was kind of related, and the Elm stuff was kind of nice too. I mean, it's got a different model, and some stuff felt like you wanted generics, and they weren't there, and they were there, but they weren't in certain ways. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but you definitely have generics in the sense that you can have type variables and stuff, but there seemed like some stuff you can't quite do as well. But it's a pretty light syntax and all that. I liked Kotlin nicely. I don't know. I'm over 3, aren't I? The others, I don't know. I mean, I did enough to dabble in Python, not enough to really use it. C, I worked on a C compiler too back when, and that was kind of fun from that sense. But man, doing memory management in C is such a pain. So hard to keep it 100% right. All these others, I don't know. And maybe I should learn some Rust. I did Go and I was underwhelmed. And downward in the bottom list here, I guess. Like, what was it? Very long term. Oh, the next 50. Alcohol. Okay. Closure, I thought would go somewhere, and it didn't seem to. So, 2014. So, wow, 9 years. I don't know. I mean, it's the one I'm using for now. It's like, I mean, I'm doing these projects for my own education, I guess you'd say, and I want to find examples of refactoring and things like that I can write about. But I'm happier to be doing Swift now than I am to be doing Java or C Sharp or, I mean, C++. I just, so I guess it's certainly one of my favorites now. But Java's not terrible or anything. It's a little wordy for what it is. They've been doing stuff to improve that, but it's there. I mean, it's funny. There's languages. I don't know, Nim. I think that's been around a while. I don't know what that is though. What it's like. M4 is a macro language. It's not really a programming language. Racket's one I'd like to look at, but that's just that's from my education experience. I gather it's kind of a stack-based language, like Forth or PostScript really is too. They're all three kind of related. That's probably one on my list. I'd pursue a little bit sometime. But yeah, most experience, gosh, probably, Java, C Sharp are pretty similar. I mean, I used both each of those for years and years and years. C, I also have used a lot and had to learn it pretty thoroughly when I was working on the compiler, on a team, but still, you end up learning a lot of it. Yeah. PHP and TypeScript. Yeah, I haven't used TypeScript. I mean, I built something that, twiddled on it, but not really used it for a real project. JavaScript, I don't know. For me, I've dabbled in, but never got serious enough about. Yeah. Do you have other languages that you've been playing with or trying out and think you might explore more, or it's just Swift and Java as your choices? Okay, so we have duplicate name errors, very large set. Notice it's got those. Okay, let's change this. We'll make it class 3. Okay, now it knows the difference between them. Python for prototyping. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. I have a group I meet with on Tuesday nights, and I don't know if you may have run across Brian Beecham, but he's a big fan of Python, and often when he's showing his project, we talk through what he's doing in Python, and it's I can understand the appeal for sure, and it's not as compile time strict as the others. Telecom used a lot for science analysis. Now, for me, it's been a long time since I was in telecom, but they were betting on Java. The projects I was on there, I think were basically Java projects, and then we had I was supporting some ticketing system. So when I was doing real telecom, they were they were talking to the switches and stuff, and we were doing Java to talk to the switches. And then I did a project that was ticket management system or something, and that was in more of a database language, or Clarity. I can't remember the name of it, but it was more of a tool than a language. But interesting that they're using that a lot for analysis, and I think it's good for that. And they oh, okay, cool. There's a lot of data science tools and stuff built on that. It's understandable. I'm sure it makes it great for what you're doing there. Okay, so let's see. So I am getting warnings. Let's turn off these. This should be okay. These duplicates have duplicate names. Person. Registration. Oh no. How is that so? This is bad. I mean, okay, we did this join table analysis. Something's wrong though. These inactive tables, they shouldn't be looked at for this or this. And they don't have duplicate names. There's person and registration. Oh, did I click? Wait a minute. Am I not running? Oh, it's in the database. Let's try this. Duplicate value key class. Yeah, there's something funny. Yeah, this is what you call unpredicted interactions. Not a good thing. Okay. He does have these, and we don't have a way to delete them. I don't know what's going on. Why is this showing up with this database? Let's take another database. No, something's weird. Okay, that one doesn't have anything. Turns out SQLite 3. Why is this persisting? Yeah, it's loaded with stuff. I mean, this is more, I haven't clicked duplicate at all today, and I've got all this stuff. Let me, no, it should still be. All right, I'm going to quit this one. I'm going to run this. Now, maybe what that's suggesting, like something's not, I don't know how it would be there though. Like, unless it wrote into the database with these tables. Okay. I am puzzled. How can that be there? Now I'm really, really puzzled. Database selection. Okay. I guess I'm thinking more like, let's close things. Database view. Okay, when you change the database, oh, but select a database. What's database? Database is the actual database. Okay, that's fine. Bridge.select. Let's go see that. Selection. Okay, creates a new database selection. That should be empty. Okay, so these duplicate names, I've got person, person. Okay, I have them twice. Maybe class person registration, class person registration. Okay, let me shut these off. Do I still get the warning? Class person registration. Yeah. So, yeah, does it append tables when it shouldn't? That's a good question. Yeah, maybe something's. Where's that append? Add join. No. Database view and database selection. Okay. So we'll see who references this. Should they? I guess they have to. Maybe we should address that. We want the list of selections. Yes, we do. And they're there for the views, basically. Selection. Oh, that sounds, well, that sounds like a bad test, right? Oh, and it's a database test. Okay, let's address this one. So this one should be selection dot append that. Let's see if we can make, whoops, database selection. Let's make this private set. Does anybody write to that now? Yes. All tables view cannot assign to property. Setter is inaccessible. Well, why would that matter? You can only do this with a write? Why is he $? He's a view. Table selection to binding of table selection. That may be a true thing. If this is not mutable, then cannot find table selection in scope. Okay. And he does need to be mutable because he's changing the flags and all that. Okay. Let's go back. Let's undo this one. And undo the var. So he has to be able to change a table selection. That's true. All right, let's find usage again. To the DB from the terminal. Yeah, good point. Let's debug. quicker. Okay. I guess we were looking at another .SQLite 3. I don't remember how to show tables. I know there is a way. Tables. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dot. Class person registration. And there's this dot schema. Okay, so yeah, I feel better there. There's 3 tables and they look like I'd expect. Okay. How is it? Oh, it's still there. I think your earlier suggestion is appending twice. I think that must be something that's happening. Selection.append, table selection, metadata $0. Select. Well, it doesn't. Let's do this. Selection dot table reference map. Why don't I get a new selection at that point? Let's do that. Let's just say when you change, we're just going to generate a new one. I think that's going to be a little cleaner. Because I think if it's appending twice somehow, I'm not sure about it, but I feel like that's probably what we want. You know, if somebody did select and then did select again on the same entry, it would have both those in. But why are we not? Yeah, okay, that's why we're not seeing it. Okay. Something in doing this process, maybe I created a new selection before. I don't think I did, but it changed a lot of code when we swapped around. We moved this stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's in that UIKit interface layer. I'm not going to get that. So just yeah. Let's see. Oh, it appears to have pushed. Good. Restarting the system. Echo did do something. All right. So now I think we're better off here. Okay, we're getting the unjoined tables. Yes, that's true. If I change one of these, registration to registration 2, I'm getting the error there, and they're being reported in terms of the renamed tables. Okay, now let's duplicate class. These tables have duplicate names, class. Unpublished results in a very large data set. Class 2. Okay, now it distinguishes. Now turn this off. Yay. Class 2, person. Okay, fair enough. And let's add a join. Class.instrument equals class2.id. Nonsensical, but it should get rid of the message. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Yeah, that's... I guess it's me thinking about what's going on that we didn't catch this. And do I need to do anything? I mean, mostly these are delegating, but this one isn't, and this one isn't. Well, this, okay, here's a nice smell, right? Everything in here depends on selection. We use selection to create the join. We use selection to put it in the joins. So this method to me belongs on selection. And let's do that refactoring. So I'm going to put joins on here as well. We had append, which is table, rename, duplicate. All right, let's put join down here. Add join. Okay. This is just first column because selection is ourselves. I think I can get this down to a line. Need to make it mutating. Okay. So now we have add join. And then this should just do delegation. Okay, so kind of, I wish the tools could do what I just did for me in Xcode for Java and Python probably, and many of its languages, it would have been able to do that move method. And yeah, you talk about Java. I mean, that's the one thing I love for Java. Like IntelliJ, they have done a bang up job on refactoring and all that stuff. It's just done so well there. Eclipse is not terrible, but it's not up to what IntelliJ does. Although, well, I had to do some work maintaining a plugin for the C# IntelliJ, and it was a total pain. They kept changing the interface on us and stuff like that, but from the API, but on the front end, like, yeah, it's really great. Okay, that should pass all tests. And I'll do a primitive test on this. Let's see. Test. Okay. Let's just make a selection. And do add join. It's a minimal test, but just enough to get a little bit of pin down on it. Yeah, unfortunately, I just played with app code, and by the time I was getting ready to try it, I was like, I'm going to do it in my next project. And they announced, like, yeah, we're closing it down. Oh, is this test? Unexpectedly found nil. First. Well, oh, we have to have a real database. Okay. Tests. We need at least one table. Okay. And if there are zero tables, like we had that example test DB, it doesn't show us anything anyway. So we're not making a requirement that isn't real. All right. Well, no, we did move method for add join from database selection bridge to database selection. Okay. Right. Okay. Figure out sort order for tables. This is somewhat aesthetic, but we currently just append the tables, and that feels, well, it doesn't feel completely wrong, but it feels a little wrong. So I duplicate class. It shows up on the bottom. I really wish it would show up in the neighborhood of the one I just duplicated. Now, these got alphabetized and then displayed. I don't know why they're not getting alphabetized. I would have thought that did it. All tables view. Okay, we got the list. I could do sorted. Let's find sorted in here. What are you? Scoped columns. Okay, that's the column sort. Let's find metadata. Right. So when we create the database selection, we initialize it with all the tables in the database, and the query that gets them makes sure they're sorted. So these came out sorted, but I think we really need to do it ourselves. Whether, I guess this would do it. Sorted. And then what's the right element to sort on? What's using? Okay. I think, gosh, it's like, should we sort them by the original class name or by the renamed name? And so as soon as you start typing, now let's do this registration. Okay, well, he's there. Let's do it again. Registration. Okay, if I do it on the renamed, and I start renaming this to arbitrary right? As soon as I type the A, it would jump up there. That feels a little wrong too. Yeah. I'm gonna say we'll use the I'm gonna say let's use the original name. I don't know. Like once you rename it and you're coming in looking at it, are you gonna be happy with that? I think you have to know your schema to do anything. And having the two right next to each other and you see it's instructor and just person, like that would make you go like, oh, which one should I use? But if you're just scrolling through and you saw instructor, I don't know. I'm going to say it's the original, and I don't know if this will do it. Yeah, no, he needs a buy. Okay, so buy, well, sort by $0 dot renamed is less than $1 dot renamed. All right, let's try that. Yes, we do initialize it. Oh, less than binding a string. Okay, $0 dot wrapped value. Okay, so now class should get next to class. And if I change it to session, whoa, what just happened? No, we just said, I just said I was going to do original, and then I did renamed. Yeah. That was what I didn't like about the renamed. It bounced around as soon as I typed a different letter. And then if I came back in, I wouldn't know they had any relationship to each other without really scanning through the whole thing. Okay. Class. Rename it to session. Still there. Good. Okay. And I think that's one of those that if we decide it's wrong, we can go back and do it, change it. But I think it's right. Where it's going to be more confusing though is you're going to say add join, and I do session, and then you go up here and session's not. Like, how do you know session is class? You don't. So that gives me pause, but we'll live with it for now. Okay, that is sorted. Okay. Now it's going to get ugly. Okay. So we can delete tables. Now, I don't know, we may even have, no, we don't have anything on that. Whoops. I don't know what I just did. I was flipping across that way. This person registration. I thought we changed these to the renamed names, but this should have 4 things in it. Okay. I'm not happy. Okay. Let's get rid of the other stuff. Who calls this? Where do we set up the initial clusters, right? That's got to be in clustered by. String set string for each table name in clusters subtable name. Mergers. Clusters. Okay, for each table name, create a starter set. So that tells me we don't have the right list of table names, perhaps. Renamed table. Tables. Where's tables coming from? Database selection, not table selections. Well, that seems right. Given a database selection, we get the table selections. Where's this coming from? Database selection, self. Well, that seems okay. And yet, our mergers go through them. Class equals session ID. Cluster sub left. Well, it sure is missing. I mean, sessions should have been there. I don't know if it's anything to do with me trying to do drag and delete over here. Let's see if I can duplicate this. So the setup is we've got class, we duplicated it, we renamed it to session, and then class instrument equals session ID. Okay. Run that again. Duplicated this, called it session. Okay, added a join. Class instrument equals session.id. And then the unjoined class session, yes, person registration. And then I did something like that. Okay, don't do that. What? This is triggering something. Why? Do we have the table? We don't have the table here. We have it up here. Clustered by. Class 1 session. Okay. and the table names. What? Did I not get the rename tables? I thought I did. I think it's trying to duplicate. I don't know. Why would we drop session though? But it looks to me like it's duplicated class again, like as if it interpreted this drag left as a duplicate. And then, but I don't know why it would mess up session. Remove the joins before deleting the table. Yeah, I think we probably should, but we haven't done any deleting yet. I mean, all I did was drag left on something that didn't like to be dragged on. Try again. I'm going to drag on a column name and see if that does anything bizarre. Oh. Okay. Let's just do this before we... Oh, man. So it... interprets a drag as a click. Right. Just tapping it. Clusters. So I'm pulling session out. That shouldn't be illegal. Okay, so I don't think it's the drag. I think it's just tapping on something that's participating in a join should not be a problem. You should be able to, like, normally you wouldn't want to see the registration table. It's just a bunch of indexes. Okay. Now, there may be, I thought we had taken care of this, that was allowed. I mean, I'm like 99% sure we did. Because, oh, but maybe this is... No, I think this is a real problem. Okay, so what we do, let's see, in the analysis, we get the tables. Why would that matter? We only get the included tables, so we don't include a knocked out one. It's like it's not. It's like it's trying to update it before it finished processing the negate, dropping out the table or something. Okay, so I get the tables. I only get the included tables because the active tables are the ones that are participating in uncrossed joins. Then we get the names, column 1.table. We're not getting the rename table. Yeah, you're right. It does not. So that has session, but we treat it as if it were a person. And so we're saying class equals person.id. But person is not in the set because he's commented out. Is that right? Well, the filter is going to send through class session registration, and then the join is going to send through class person. Okay. But the cluster says person. What? Class is class. So that one's okay. It's person in session that's a problem, but this, I would have thought, well, no, this is the clusters when we're going. Rename table. Oh, we do rename them. But no, table names is funny. Okay, I got to be able to say what the problem is. Huh. Yeah, there's still some around, but companies have gotten used to the web stuff. Understandably, and the experience isn't usually as good, but the maintenance level for them is a lot less. You know, you want to do an upgrade, you just upgrade the back end website, and nothing on the desktop changes, and so you don't have to multiply that by however many employees you have. It's definitely attractive that way, but you don't get as nice of an interface usually. Yeah, I mean, there's some that are getting tolerable. All right. Yeah, so something in here that, yeah, so I'm getting the renamed names down here for the joins, but I didn't put them in the tables. I bet, okay, I'm going to do another manual test. I'm going to shut down everything and just put one table that's not blanked out or deselected. Okay, let's take out this, take out that, change this to session. Okay. I think if I just click here, oh no, I got to add a join. Session.id equals session.id. That's everybody. I think if I click here, I'm going to see the problem. Ha. Okay. Yeah, there's some, some decent UIs at this point. It took, what was it, 1990 till now, last 5 years maybe. All right. So this demonstrate we put class in the list of tables, but session in the list of joins. So we did a partial job. These picked up original table. These picked up the rename table. Okay. So the test is put in the table, rename it, toggle it. Put in the table, rename it, put in a join, toggle the table. All right. So let's do a table join analysis test. Join analysis uses renamed table consistently. Okay, we can trim down. Okay, so we'll take table selection. We don't need any columns to demonstrate this. Don't need a table selection 2. Let's do this by putting it in database selection first. We have database selection. Tables joins, what's that doing? I think we dealt with the renames. Yeah. Okay. So tables, table selection not renamed. Tables is table selection. And then joins is going to be table selection.id. The table is some table renamed. Oh, I guess we will need a column. And then we'll reference the same one. Okay, and then okay, so I think we'll do our select here. Toggle. Oh, he doesn't do toggle table. Well, I don't know if this will work or not. Var database selection, yeah. Okay. Message should be empty because we joined to itself. Class session, yeah, that's okay. That's what we're expecting now is unjoined tables with class by session. Assuming I've set it up right. It's kind of a complicated situation. Okay, congratulations on a decision. That's good. Well, nuts. We're not getting the behavior. Why aren't we getting the problem? Okay, so our table join analysis. Let's stop here. Oh, no? System message. Oh, wait a minute. How are you not calling cross products? Oh. Okay, if it's one table, we know there's no problem. Okay. Then we'll have to add a second table. Okay, I've got a second table, renamed it. We're going to put both these in. We'll join only on table 1, table 2 to itself. Okay, I guess the message is going to be assert. Wait, a message contains. Let's find that. Check. It should complain about, well, renamed that table. Yeah, there's a bit to learn. Okay. That's the break point, and that makes it a good time for a break. We'll see you in 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll figure out what's going on here. I think we figured it out, but let's check it and make sure. Welcome back. All right. So we broke here. Let's just run the test through and see how it does. Okay. 1 failure. That's progress. What do we get? Empty message. Now, have I done this right? I was thinking I would get a message using the old table name with some table. Okay, we have table 1, table 2. Well, the toggle table, okay. Yeah, let's do stuff here. Okay. All right, so we want to see the table names. That's renamed. Is that correct? Did we toggle? Oh, we did selection 0. Oh, I put the same one in twice. Okay, let's run this test again. Take this out for now. Message blank did not contain renamed by that table. Okay, that table is renamed. And we toggled selection 0. Okay. There we go. Sum table. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we got renamed in sum table. That's the overridden table name. Okay, that's more like it. It's so critical to get the right failure. Let me, well, I want to go through database selection. Yeah, I do want to do that. Did I toggle the right one? Toggle 1 should be that table. Okay. So, well, no, that table still messed up. The problem came when I toggled the table I renamed, because it was not showing up in the list of tables, but it was showing up in the list of these. I don't know. Empty. Okay, empty because it's only one table. If there's only one table, we know there's not a problem. Do I need a third table? Well, no, that table. I guess I could. If I did that table. Still not going to do it. I've only got one active table. I guess I need 3 active tables. Okay, because if I toggle the table out, then it's no longer active and I'm not going to get the situation. So this is the X table. Okay, so now I should get renamed. Okay, I got table selection 1. We're going to toggle it. Table selection 2, that table. Selection 3, X table. I set up a link from table 1. Sorry, from table 2. I keep mixing these up. Do I want table 1 to be renamed? Okay, I link from table. Let's link from 1 renamed to that table. So renamed in that table should be a cluster. If I didn't do the toggle, I wouldn't have a problem. But the toggle says don't include renamed. And I think it'll fail then. Message should contain renamed and sum table. I don't think it should contain sum table because it's been renamed. Oh. It's so, I mean, I keep mixing up what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying not to do. Okay. The problem I see is when you generate the list of tables, we include the original. No, we include this table from the join that is most likely the original table. And yeah, I shouldn't put rename in there. That's true. This should be some table because it's the ID that counts. It's not supposed to be the table name. I don't know who's referencing this. They probably shouldn't be. Okay, so yeah, we're referencing some table, but it's really table selection 1. So it would display as renamed. Okay, let's run it that way. I want to crash. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, now we got renamed and that table. We have some table, that table, and next table. We don't have a renamed in here because we mapped off the table instead of mapping off the renamed name. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's the delay. Yeah. That'd be that table. Yeah. Okay. So the message, yeah, it's crashed. Now the message should be renamed in that table because they got linked together. That by that link, and the next table doesn't get mentioned, so that's a separate category. So rename that table X table. Okay, I believe the test is saying the right expected value. All right, now let's untwist this. Okay, so I think what I need to do, I believe what I should do is do this step first. Okay, so we'll move that up. Okay, the joins. All right, now we have a list of pairs, table name, and the other renamed names. So we're going to take mergers. Well, I don't even know. This might be, yeah, mergers.map $0.0 and mergers.map $0.1 because it's a tuple, so it's just the first values like that. But I think this is simple enough. I don't know. You have to be a little used to that $0 stuff and dot zero, but I think that's reasonable. Okay, so now I've got the rename tables. I've got the from the joins, I got the rename tables from the filtered, and I'm going to append the joins, and that should get me everything. And then I do this, and I'm just going to do a little rename here while we're here. I think all table names, or active table names. Okay, so if they're in a join, they're active. If they're in a table, an included table, they're active. All right, and now my claim is this will work. Yay. Okay. Whew. It can be so hard to get the stuff for situations right. Now, does consistently is okay. I don't know if I can convey why this fails. Well, actually, if I take this out, what it should still pass. I do want, it was the toggle that created the issue, so I want to keep that in, but it just adds in another some table reference that should show up as renamed. Yeah, but it was the toggle that created the problem. So let's say even if table is not visible, or even if table is not visible but is used in join. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Now, what I'm wondering is table used anymore? The join table. So let's open join, and I'm going to move it over here, close the other tables. Right. So no, it's not join, it's scoped column. Guess I could have clicked it. All right, who uses this? Working column. Okay. That's the original table. That's probably okay. A test. Column one dot. Table. Okay, that's used there. Join doesn't really use it. Let's go column. Database name. I don't see why that's there. That we cleaned up. Okay. So this is the limited use. I don't know why that's showing up there. Okay. I guess I don't think there's a problem per se. I think we're going to have to come back to working columns and stuff like that sometime, but that's okay. All right. So I think we are now ready to delete tables and joins. All right. So the issue I'm worried about. Oh, I lost my. Can I just maximize this? I don't know why I got disconnected. I bumped something. Okay. Yeah, so we're here. The way we had it before, where you had the columns that it took them all, that meant it was a static list and you never had to worry about it. But now we can add something to delete tables when you do this, which works now. Okay. But if I delete this and I delete this and I delete this, I've got no tables left. And so I think we will need an add table button. I don't I don't know if it's a foolish inconsistency or not. The joins, I think it's probably the easiest to have the drop down like this, that you're going to select the two rather than do that and add it and have it be static. But the class, should this be a drop down like that? I don't know. The alternative is I'll put a drop down in front of add table and that'll have the list of tables on it that are candidates. And they'll be the original table names, the metadata ones. Okay. But if you delete them all and I don't have this, then, I mean, it's nice that duplicate is there, but if you deleted them all, it's not there anymore. So I think I'll add that even if the tables are gone, which probably, we had that case, which one was it? TestDB? Test2DB? Yeah. I think we explicitly test for empty databases before we do that. I feel like it only allows duplication. Yeah, that would be possible. Although, like, you don't really know which one was the original because they could rename them both. I could ban you from, well, if you delete the last instance of a table, maybe that's the killer. That we could block you from doing that. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, only allows deletion of duplicated tables. Is that better? I don't know. I mean, really, the other thing is I don't think the default is right to have every table active, because if you had 27 tables, it would be no end of tedious to be going through and clicking to turn them all off. You probably need 3, you know. Yeah, only allow deletion if there's a multiple of the original names. It's a little weird. I mean, I don't know if we can capture this and detect it. Let's see. Let's look for delete. And that's text. Is it on delete? On. I may regret this. Yeah. Which one does it? It's joins. Let's go column select. All right. Oh no, it should be join. It should be one join. Is it all joins? Oh, edit action delete. Yeah. But I don't know if I can get. Can I override my own delete? Because then I want to block those final deletes. Let's see. Let's go look at list with edit actions, I guess. I feel like you might be able to put your own function in there or something. Toolbar edit button. That's different. Edit actions. Create a list. Computes the rows on demand and allows to edit the collection. Requires selection of one row. I don't care about that. Also, let's users select a single row. Okay. But edit actions, this is edit action. Editing a list. Okay. Edit mode. Well, I want them to be able to do it. That applies to the view. Okay. See if somebody else has tackled this problem. Delete from list, but only with conditions. I don't know. Oh, you can do perform. Okay, okay. That's it. Yeah. All right. So on the list, and then outside the for each. Oh, you can't. Okay, yeah, it changes the way. You can't use this form of the list. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can, given a database selection, we can figure out what's right. Okay, so this list becomes for each on that same condition. Okay, so list and then just the body. And then for each of these, why didn't do that? Okay, copy out this list. Okay, so this is the joins list. Each join, now it's no longer deletable. Okay, and then perform on delete. Perform delete, which is the function we define. Okay, so that should do what we have now. Items. Where does items? Okay. No, I'm not sure that's going to work. Can I call value a function of non-binding? I don't know if that's right or not. Okay, so if this works, we've got a different way of doing our deletes. Okay, now I got a delete button. That's good. Okay. Should be 1. Okay, we'll step over. Should be 0. Should not blow up. Oh. Okay, let's return. It looks like it's not doing the job. It is. Again, I don't know if it was just the bugging process as to when things reflect themselves. All right, but that seems to do what it's supposed to. System gesture timed out. Okay, yeah, it took a little while to process that. Okay, so I think I can delete this one. Okay, I'm going to say switch to a programmatic delete. And I was thinking, oh, I don't need this for joins, but I do, because I can't just delete a join. I have to well, do I? I guess that probably is okay. Let's cancel that. I mean, we did it properly, I think, but the deleting a join doesn't affect the tables. It only affects that deleting that entry, so that we don't need the complexity of this. Okay, where we need it is all tables view. All right, now we've got this. Okay, so it has to be the list. This is the for each now. For each this, and then list. Okay, so that's that. And then at the end of here, we want to say dot, was it on delete? For form, delete. Okay. Delete, well, I'll just take this. Deleted offsets items is, oh geez. Because they're sorted, they're yeah, that delay is really annoying. Got to check all before deleting. Make sure it's not on the list. Joins are no problem. Tables, however, yeah. So one table view. Well, it's in the list, so it's the all tables view. But what I'm seeing as a problem is this thing I should remove should be database.table selections, because .sorted is a local thing. That tells me I need this table selections to be sorted. Now we don't maintain any current selection or anything like that. Yeah, one table view. Let's see. Well, he can have the duplicate action. Whoops. Where's that button? Duplicate. Yeah, the button there. Yeah, that should be on the one item. I don't know why they've, well, I mean, in a way it makes sense. The list is the thing changing, but it changes here too. But we manage that, I guess, not them. But it would seem very natural to have the delete behavior on this too, but they just don't do it that way. I don't think. Can I say on delete? No. Not available. Okay. Yeah, it's the list entries that have it, unfortunately. For each that supports it. Okay, so what I want to do, well, if that happens, I guess it's going to recalculate the table. I don't know. Can I access? See, it's funny, index set, because you could delete multiple things, but we don't support that. And this behavior doesn't support it. Items dot at. I don't know what else takes offsets. I don't really know what an index set looks like. Probably a set of numbers. Okay, it's set algebra. Set of integer values. Cocoa only used in Cocoa API. There's an oldie. The range is 0 to anything. Okay. It's just a bunch of stuff. But offsets? Remove member colon. I don't see add offsets. Add offsets. See, the offset is wrong, so I've got to get from the offset to the original table selection with right? If we get the index at which row did they delete, but we don't get we don't know which entry that is. Well, the other way I was thinking was table selections provide an accessor that knows how to sort them. Or no, not even that. When the only time we change the table is when we append something. So we could sort them at that point. All right, let's look at doing that. And I don't think that changes anything. I'm going to leave this for now. I'll take this out for now, I mean. Okay, so this is sort of our current table one done with for each. All right, let's make sure this runs. I don't think this can affect our test. We don't test through the UI very much, so at all at this point, I don't think. Okay, so those are all there. It treats it as a click on there. Okay, but database selection dot table selections. Okay, this thing, table selections. Scoped columns uses the rename name. So what I'm thinking is do it here. I don't know what I had here, but there's sort by. Right, so sort changes the collection. Sorted returns a new one. So we can just do sort because we're right here. Okay, and we're sorting by original name. And we're doing the real item, so we don't have to worry about the wrap to value. Now, table selection, consecutive statements on a line. Okay, I wonder if I can just say sort by less than. Table selection, is he comparable? No. He maybe, well, no, we can't sometimes we need to do one and sometimes we need to do the other, so it makes it kind of arbitrary, but this feels okay. All right, so I think this should still work. It's just sorting it twice. Once in the creation time and then again in the display. But let's go, where was it? One table, all tables view. Right, so now I don't think I need to sort, whoops. I don't need this sort anymore. It's just the view because they're maintained sorted. Okay, this should still look the same. And I think it will be sorted because the metadata comes out sorted anyway too. So it was being sorted 3 times before. But when something new comes in, nope, duplicate. Okay. it's been sorted now. So we're seeing this sorting. It originally starts sorted when we create it the first time, and then we're forcing it to be sorted when we add to it. Okay, so now deleting can't change the sort order, so that should be safe. And this should be database selection, not table selections. I don't think we want the $sign. Cannot call value of non-function type binding int goes to table selection. For instance, add. Let's try that. Now we're not enforcing anything, we're just deleting, which will be potentially problematic. There's the delete, take out person, and there it is. Okay. So now we want constraints. All right, we have database selection. So, all right, so I think we've done the basics. Oops. Switch to a programmatic delete. Well, no, we're add delete for tables. Don't enforce any restrictions. Okay, we're primitive. Push. Now, class, is person still in the list? No. Okay. So let's do class equals registration. Now delete one. Something may blow up even. Interesting. Undefined results. It should let you. There's no reason to not keep. I don't know what it's doing. Well, we're gonna fix that. But okay, I'm glad it didn't blow up. Or you could add a remove function on database selection. That's what I think we should do. Database selection, just kind of like what we did with bridge. Database bridge selection or whatever it is, data selection bridge. This function is all about database selection and offsets. This is view code that's trickier to test. So let's move it over to database selection and test it there. Okay. And so really we'll take the whole thing and rename, duplicate. Well, after duplicate is probably a good place. This is mutating. Delete. Well, this is that. Okay. And then here we're going to call database selection dot delete at offsets. We're going to test. I'll run those in a minute. What that message was? Table selection was never mutated. Right, those two don't change. Okay, so, well, we did style changes on test, and then we made a move all tables view dot delete to database selection dot delete and delegate. Okay. Okay, now we have to figure out. I guess we have to work on index set and figure out what that thing is doing. Can we do subscript? Okay. So offset. I guess it's only going to have one index after I. Okay, let's do a little experiment here. All tables view, database selection tests. Oh, we need to test that new function. And test delete table. I think it's a better name for that. Database selection. I was reading this to be delete table. Okay. Okay, so that delegates to that. Table section to move at offsets. Okay, so if somebody does the delete, this does what they want. Now we got two things to check. One is if this is the last instance of this table, we don't want to delete it. And the second is, which I should write these down. Okay, that's sort of the part we're doing next. Okay, don't let user delete the last instance of a table by original name. I don't know, do we have to warn about that? I don't know, it seems like what you'd want. Yeah. Okay, I think this part we've done. I think sort tables, list of all tables by original name. Okay. Now, I guess I want to do that in here. Whoops, database selection. I guess is in terms of education or spike, I want to make sure that offsets really only has one thing and it's 0. Yeah. Then we'll start a test for delete table, I guess. Okay, so if I delete table, print offset, look at offsets. Now print them. Empty. I don't believe it. One, yeah, okay. And I think we can just access it. Unbounded range. Got a closed range. Oh wait, what's an unbounded range? Has a range view. Store the access mechanism. Convert to describing, okay. Count is fine. Subscript index set dot index goes to index set dot element. Well, I could do first. Value 1, and that's table 1 being deleted. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the way it happens is there's a mode in list where you can make it an editable list, and then it puts little radio buttons on the left of them, and you can select one or more of them. And I don't know if you may be able to have a delete button that takes care of that, but I don't think it will happen in our case. And I would propose that we check that it is 1. If it's multiple, we just don't do it. I don't think it can happen with the drag because we don't let you select, so you can't hold down one, drag the other or something, So I don't think it's an issue. I don't know if it can be 0 if there's no selection or something, but I would say we'll check the offsets count, make sure it's 1, and then we can access this, and this should be the index we're looking for. All right, so we'll put some notes in here. So, well, we need to first test database selection delete table. We didn't do that. And then when deleting check that offsets dot count is 1 and access offsets dot first bang to get the index. Okay, I think that'll give us the place to pick up. So test this thing, check that the offsets are 1. If they are, then we've got one row selected, and we can take that index to get the index in the table selections table. That should be okay. And I think that will let us, we can find the ID of that entry. Well, that's what we'll use for the joins because they know the table reference ID. And then we can check that it's the deletable thing. I don't know if we need a message or not. This thing doesn't own a message. Database selection. I don't think. Oh, it does. Oh, so maybe we could put a message if. It's only a temporary one. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, this list, it won't happen. All right. Well, we'll pick up there next time. I feel like this should be a doable piece. Deleting the joins and checking these two things, delete the joins, then go look at add join. And then let's see if we can get rid of that table name. I think we can. All right. And then renaming of fields is a big piece. I think that'll be the bulk of next week. I don't know if what we've done so far with tables has not been super smooth, and it may get worse with the fields. I think they just need, instead of a list of tables, I think they need an index of table to probably original table ID to field name or something very similar, just one level deeper. All right. Well, thanks for joining today. Tomorrow is same time, 2 to 4:30 Eastern Time, 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. And have a good evening. Thanks for your help, especially Mudshark666. And Took 96 for joining a nice discussion with the programming languages. Always fun to divert a little bit. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.